What is up guys, Tech Bro Cholo here and welcome back to where we take awesome out of the box. Now today we're going to be talking about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold3 5G. Samsung's flagship foldable has evolved from a niche, fragile, prototype-ish device to a mainstream product in just 3 short years. In fact, I've come to recognize Samsung for their foldables more than any of the other smartphones under their brand. And I know you guys are excited, so let's get on with the review. There's a lot of external differences between the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold3 5G and last year's model, which isn't surprising. Why fix something that isn't broken? Samsung's foldable formula for its flagship offering has been the same since the OG Fold launched in 2019. You get an external display on the outside and a bigger internal display when you open up the phone, just like a buck. And if you think that's over the top, I think that they're both extremely useful for different reasons, but we're going to be talking about that later. What has changed is how tough the phone is. For one thing, Samsung managed to find a way to add IPX8 water resistance to the Galaxy Z Fold 3, which we honestly thought was impossible. You know, especially considering how many moving parts go into the mechanism of the folding hinge. And aside from adding water resistance, Samsung also made the aluminum chassis tougher with Armor Aluminum. It's a fancy word, but basically it's super tough. The outer display also gets Gorilla Glass Victus, while the inner display gets a tougher, stretchable PET5 or... you can read it. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. And according to them, this should be 80% tougher than any found on the earlier models. The phone uses a fingerprint scanner in the power button that's placed on the right side, which is pretty convenient since this is where your thumb will usually go when you hold this phone. And the rest of the phone is built like a flagship. It feels very solid and the hinge feels like it'll be able to take an endless amount of folds. In fact, it survived the torture test of jerry-rig everything. Some of you guys like to comment that, oh, this phone didn't survive in the comments and stuff like that, but this one did. And last, it's folded up pretty thick, up to 16mm at its thickest point, and weighs 271 grams. So maybe bring a side bag if you're wearing skinny jeans or, tight jeans, because it's definitely not going to feel comfortable. Now, the highlight. Samsung has improved both the external and the internal displays for this new model. The external dynamic AMOLED 2X panel has been bumped up to 6.2 inches with an 832 by 2268 resolution. This puts the aspect ratio at 25:9, and it has also evolved to be able to support 120Hz. And this is the one you're going to be using most of the time because, sometimes you're just in a hurry and you want to grab it out of your pocket and, browse Instagram, reply to a message, or answer a call. You don't really always want to unfold it and, use the entire screen. It is a slim display though, so it can be a bit tough typing on it, especially if you have bigger fingers. But based on my personal experience, it wasn't really a hassle at all. I have pretty slim fingers, so it wasn't super hard to type. In fact, it felt pretty natural. The main star of the show is the 7.6-inch flexible AMOLED panel. It has a 1768 by 2208 resolution together with a 120Hz refresh rate. It also has HDR10 Plus and finally S Pen support. The larger panel makes it so much easier to work on stuff like productivity-focused tasks. Seriously guys, it's so much fun to multitask on this. Kinda makes me feel like you won't really need the tablet if you grab this instead. And like I mentioned earlier, Samsung has finally added S Pen support. But what do you guys think? Is it a tablet killer? And as for the picture quality itself, it looks amazing. And while Samsung still hasn't found a way to eliminate the crease completely, you barely notice it when you're using it. Or, you simply just get used to it. What's even better is the fact that the screen doesn't have a super visible punch hole for the selfie camera. And that's thanks to Samsung's new under-display camera tech, which means you're getting a surface that's uninterrupted by a notch. It is worth noting though that you can still kinda see it with light backgrounds and from certain angles, but this is a big step into the future. Now while most of the phone is new, the Z Fold 3's triple camera setup is not. Essentially, you're getting a 12-megapixel f1.8 main camera, 12-megapixel f2.2 ultra-wide, and 12-megapixel f2.4 telephoto capable of 2x optical zoom. while the hidden under-display selfie camera is just a 4-megapixel unit. At least the main selfie camera on the external display is a better 10-megapixel f2.2 snapper. This is more or less the same camera setup you got for the previous generation, which is not a bad thing. But if you're looking for the latest top-end flagship snappers, this might not be the phone for you. That being said, the snaps from the camera are pretty good. You get beautiful images which would look great decorating your Instagram. But for selfies, you have 3 options. The selfie camera on the folding display, which is kinda meh quality because of the pixel mesh that helps hide it. The main selfie camera on the external display, which takes good photos for a selfie snapper. And last is the main camera, which you can use for selfies because you can see yourself through the external display. The last is obviously the one with the best quality. Oh, and by the way, we have a surprise giveaway, so please do check out the community tab here on YouTube if you want to participate. We're giving away a smartphone, so check that out and good luck. The Z Fold3 uses Qualcomm's Snapdragon 888 chipset with a whopping 12 gig of RAM. In the Philippines, you can pick between 256 gig or 512 gig. Both, I think, are perfect for heavy users. As far as performance and benchmarks go, the Galaxy Z Fold3 is roughly at the same level as other Snapdragon 888 equipped smartphones. Sky's the limit, and that's exactly where this processor is at. But what I found cool is that Samsung really took time to tweak their One UI 3.5 software, which is based on Android 11, to make full use of the phone's foldable qualities. The Galaxy Z Fold3 is a multitasker's dream phone, since you can have up to 3 apps running all at once. Flex mode also makes a return here, which essentially puts controls and other settings on the bottom half of the display, while the content stays on the top half when the screen is folded. Samsung has been working very hard with app developers to make more apps work seamlessly with Flex mode, but here you can see YouTube. But in a video that's chock full of pros, here we have a con. The brand's flagship foldable has one of the slowest fast charging speeds on any flagship around. Yeah, it tops up at 25 watts wired and 11 watts with a wireless charging pad. It doesn't help that the phone doesn't ship with a fast charger or any charger. It just comes with a cable. To be fair to Samsung though, Philippine customers will be getting a fast charger as a freebie, if they pre-order that is. If you didn't, there is no guarantee. But as for the battery itself, you're getting a 4,400 mAh battery which lasted 8 hours and 12 minutes with our test using the main 7.6-inch display. That sounds bad on paper, but take note you're not really going to be using the main display most of the time. Well, at least I don't. I've had this phone for a while and most of the time I use the external display. If you mix the secondary and primary display usage, well, you're gonna get at least a day's worth of use, approximately. There you have it, our full review on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold3 5G. It's a foldable that's finally good enough for mainstream use, at least in our opinion. Yes, it's still pretty expensive, but it has matured to the point where I can see any type of person using it, not just being a fancy toy for hardcore geeks. And the Galaxy Z Fold3 is available for pre-order from August 19 to September 21. That's 87,990 pesos for 256 gig and 95,990 for the 512 gig variant. And if you pre-order, there's a lot of freebies and I typed them all down in the description if you want to check it out. And also, please do check out Unbox PH if you want to see more tech reviews. Hit the notification icon if you want to get updates when you drop videos. And please do note, we have a surprise giveaway, so please do check out the community tab here on YouTube if you want to join. Once again, it's your tech bro Cholo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.